Hello and welcome to my course. Today we will talk about major scale. So before we dive into the practicalities of how we can practice the scale, I just wanted to briefly talk about the theory behind it. So each major scale consists of 8 notes. So to give you an example, there's for instance a C major scale which consists of C, D, E, F, G, A, B, and C. So the reason why we have a C major in the first place goes back to the alphabet. Because if you take the alphabet starting on A, so A, B, C, D, E, F, G, so up till the G, you'll see that it's actually the same like the C major, with the difference that after G you don't go back to the next letter of the alphabet, but rather back to the beginning to the A. So in other words, in order to put in order the C major scale, you just start the alphabet on the C and then go back to the beginning of the alphabet after the G. So you start on the C, followed by D, E, F, G, and then go back to the beginning of the alphabet, so A, B, and C again. So the major scale consists of 8 notes, and it has got only 2 intervals. So intervals is the gap between 2 notes you can find in music, and there are different types of intervals. However, I just want you to focus on 2 of them. So the smallest gap between the 2 notes you can have, so the smallest interval you can have in music, is semitone. And semitone is just nothing else. If you, for instance, imagine the piano keyboard. If you see just the white keys and black keys, if you take just the white key and the closest black key just next to each other, then that's gap between that note and the black key is called a semitone. So it's basically the smallest gap you can have in music, in Western music at least, in general, right? So then the reason why we're talking about that is because in C major scaling and in all of the other major scales that we will play, there are 2 places that you can find something I call a natural semitone, or just a semitone. So in our example of the C major scale, that spot is between the 3rd and 4th note. So in our case that will be E and F, and between the 7th and 8th note, which is B and C. So if you again imagine the piano, that would be the spots where there's the black key missing actually. So that's why I call it a natural semitone, because in every other scale that you'll find in there, in order to achieve the same sort of gap between the 3rd and 4th and 7th and 8th note, you would probably most likely need to add a sharp or a flat. So as you know, a sharp is just raising the note by a semitone, and a flat is lowering the note by a semitone. So sometimes in order to achieve the same effect, where you have the semitone between the 3rd and 4th and 7th and 8th, you just need to add the sharp or flat in there. Okay, so then the rest of the notes of that C major scale, or any other major scale, are just tones. And tones are nothing else but 2 semitones. So C to D gap would be a tone, D to E is a tone again, E to F is our natural semitone, F to G is a tone, G to A is another tone, A to B is a tone, and B to C is again a natural semitone. So having this in mind, now we have a recipe how to build a major scale from any note. Because if you just follow those simple rules and keep those natural semitones between these notes, you will just create another major scale. So to give you a quick example, let's build a scale from starting on a G. So the first thing you do, you just write down the notes of all the letters from G to G. So that would be what? A G, then A, B, C, D, E, F, and G. Now, as you remember, in our recipe how to create a major scale, we need to keep the semitone between 3rd and 4th. So what's the 3rd note and 4th note in the G major? Yes, it's B and C. So as you know, between B and C, there's missing black key, so it's already a semitone. So we don't have to put any sharps or flats in order to create that small gap there. Now let's look on the end of the scale where we have the spot between the 7th and 8th. At the moment, we have the gap F and G. And F and G is just a tone. So we need to put a sharp next to F, creating F sharp, in order to preserve the rules. So we're going to have F sharp to G, which means there's going to be a semitone there. So the final notes, the G major scale, are going to be G, A, B, and C, D, E, F sharp, G. So the two spots between in where we have that semitone is the B and C and F sharp and G. Therefore, finally, the G major scale will have only one sharp. I hope you understand the structure of the major scale now, and I hope you're ready for some practical examples that will follow in the next videos. I hope you enjoyed that video, and I'll see you next time.